Smiley. Are you ready for some more football? Woo! Woo!
Welcome back to our wild card New Year's Eve celebration. Our distinguished guests now include two of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Joe Montana of the Kansas City Chiefs will be looking to take that next step towards a 5th Super Bowl ring. It will be the pinnacle accomplishment of a spectacular 16 years in the NFL for 3-time Super Bowl MVP Joe Montana.
Anytime you have the type of teammates that I've had over the years, it always helps everybody's career when you can win and continue to win, and that's what keeps everyone around.
We'll also raise a glass in celebration to the great Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins. He's had a glorious career of magnificent statistical accomplishments. He has led the Dolphins to 5 division titles in his 12-year career. But if Marino is to progress through these playoffs and go on to win his first Super Bowl ring, he must today defeat the Kansas City Chiefs and Joe Montana.
He has been an incredible quarterback for a long time, and, you know, considered probably the best that's ever played. He's won 4 Super Bowls, and, you know, I have a lot of respect for Joe.
1994 is winding down. The new year awaits. Father Time is already taking the Detroit Lions with him. With their loss today, time has run out on their Super Bowl quest. Now we'll see which team joins them and which team will go forward into the new year. The Kansas City Chiefs face the Miami Dolphins in this AFC wild card matchup.
Well, it's playoff time and we're ready to rock. Time to catch all the hits, the bangs, and the blocks. It's a postseason party coming at you, yeah. The road to the Super Bowl is in full gear. We gotta get ready. We gotta get right. Time to kick off this wild card fight. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for some football? A big playoff party. We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're gonna get it kick-started. Lynn and the crew's all set. The crowd is psyched. It's the NFL playoffs coming on. That's right.
It's a beautiful South Florida afternoon here in Miami. Temperature hovering right a little breezy, should be no problem. And a sellout crowd at Joe Robbie Stadium for the second half of our wild card doubleheader. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. So happy you are with us. We have a super matchup for you coming your way. This is the second half of our doubleheader. These two teams coming in on a bit of a roll. They met 3 weeks ago, and Miami prevailed in that one 45-28. The Dolphins won the game they had to win over Detroit a week ago, 27-20, to finish 10-6, the AFC East champions. Meanwhile, Kansas City has struggled all year long. They won a sudden death game, what amounted to a sudden death game last week against their arch rival, division rival, the Raiders, 19-9. And Al, coming into this game for Kansas City, even though they lost here 3 weeks ago, they're coming in as healthy as they've been since the very beginning of the season. They feel good about it.
And they'll have to be, because they're the number 6 seed in the American Football Conference, and that means they'll have to win 3 games during the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl here on the 29th of January. All of them on the road. Now, the Chiefs have been to the playoffs 5 consecutive years. That's the longest current streak in the National Football League. But 2 years ago, they went out and got Joe Montana and Marcus Allen to get them to the Super Bowl. As you take a look at Montana, last year they got to the AFC Championship game. So time is essential right now. Montana 38, Allen is 34. Nobody's ever played better in postseason than Joe. And as far as Marcus is concerned, last week a tremendous day against the Raiders. He carried the ball 33 times to match a career high. Look for him to get the ball almost as much today. They will be the keys to Kansas City's playoff future. And they take on Miami, Dan, and I know one thing about the Dolphins. They'll simply take the same result they got here on the 12th of December in that Monday night game.
You're right. They'll take the same score, and they'll take some of the things that happened they'd like to see happen again. Some of them, Al, they'd like to make go away. In that ball game, the Miami Dolphins did some things that, well, they haven't done consistently well all season. Some they have. First of all, the running attack. They got 120 127 yards out of Bernie Parmalee. Now, there's a guy that you don't expect to dominate the other team, but he dominated the Chiefs in running the football against them. Now, the Miami run defense all year long has been playing very, very well. They set a club record for the least number of yards allowed. A couple reasons there. Brian Cox moved into the middle. Tim Bowens has really emerged as a budding superstar. He won the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. But what they did bad that they want to correct is that they allowed a kickoff return to John Vaughn of the Chiefs for a touchdown. In their game against the Indianapolis Colts the next week, they allowed a punt return for a touchdown. And then in their season finale against Detroit that both Al and Frank mentioned, they gave up another kickoff return. 3 returns in 3 weeks for the Miami Dolphins. They cannot afford mistakes like that in a playoff atmosphere.
The play clock before that last play and the game clock were almost in sync. Originally, I think Marino thought he could go all the way to the 2-minute warning, then realized he had to take a timeout. So it's 3rd and 12 with 2:02 to play in the half. He needs 12, and he hits Williams, and he is out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
Oh, boy, this brings up an interesting call
With the tackle, and it's going to be Miami's ball at the 36-yard line, the 2-minute warning. 4th down and 3. If the Dolphins were to elect to kick a field goal, Pete Stoyanovich would be looking at about a 54-yarder, the longest ever in postseason play, a 58-yarder by Stoyanovich in a game between these two teams 4 years ago here in a wild card game. But right now, the Dolphins line up to go for it with 1:56 to the half. 4th down and 3.
And if they don't get it, they're going to leave Kansas City in great field position with timeouts.
1:56 remaining in the half. KC up by 7. Marino pressured, guns it, open man McDuffie. First down to the 18-yard line.
Whoa, boy. How good was that? Well, how good under enormous duress, waited, and finally delivered at the last second.
But a great job by the Dolphin offensive linemen of hanging with their guys, staying on a block longer than you normally would have to, but knowing the importance of a 4th down play. And quite frankly, it looked to me like some of the Chiefs defensively just gave up on it.
Boy, what presence on the part of Marino. He feels those bodies all around him. Knows it's his own man, gets the completion.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Marino guns it over the middle again to Keith Jackson. He takes it to the 10-yard line. Appears to be a little short of the first down. Tackled by Whitmore. The Dolphins have 2 timeouts remaining and spend one of them here.
Well, they'll save one if they need it for the field goal. This is a good time to talk it over, however, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Keith Jackson, leading receiver over the season, a big target. Started out, as you probably recall, Philadelphia had a great rookie season there, 81 receptions, and has performed so well down here since he came as an unprotected free agent in '93.
It'll be 2nd and 1 from the 10. Dave Adolph's defense trying to dig in, trying to protect the lead.
There's so many relationships here. Dave Adolph was with Marty Schottenheimer at Cleveland '85, and Marty also had Tom Olivadotti. Gave him his first defensive coordinating job in Cleveland in 1985. So many relationships.
Well, the thing with over a minute left to go and the 1 timeout is that you have time to do anything you want to do offensively. You can run it, you can pass to the middle of the field, you can pass short and try to run it in. You are really not under a great deal of constraints time-wise.
2nd and inches at the 10. Marino under heavy pressure floats one into the arms of Aaron Craver, and Craver's out of bounds at the 2. One official started to signal touchdown, and the other had a better view and said no, he's not in.
Boy, what a hit by Mincy.
Right, the official working the goal line, who has the line of sight to the goal line and sees the ball cross the goal line, he calls it a touchdown. But the official working the sideline, who's able to see when the ball goes out of bounds, He's the one who rolls it off.
This is no touchdown. This is a great hit.
Yep, take a look at that right there. Well, I'm not so sure that wasn't a touchdown. Looked to me like he got the football inside the pylon, didn't he?
His foot was out just at about the 2-yard line, and now this is Bernie Parmalee taking it to the 1.
Did the foot go out of bounds?
I thought the foot went out of bounds.
The ball did.
Inside the 2.
Okay, if the foot is out, then of course it is out.
Meanwhile, the clock ticks down. Miami conserves its last timeout. Take another look. The left foot goes down
there it
at
is.
the
Okay.
1.5.
You're right. The foot is out. The ball wasn't. Good call by the official.
2nd and goal. They give it to Parmalee, and he can only get it to the half-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down now.
And here's their last timeout.
Remember, they had to burn that one timeout just prior to the 2-minute warning. So now they're out of timeouts.
Well, if you got a Dan Marino, you're going to talk over your options at the sidelines with Don Shula. You know he's going to protect the football for you. You're going to have to throw it into the end zone, of course. And good coverage coming over the top. Number 52, Tracy Rogers. A little bit of hesitation on that. Good penetration on the part of the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
That was just the Chiefs getting underneath the Dolphins offensive line and not allowing them to get any movement. Rogers actually went so high, he went clear over the top of Bernie Parmalee.
This is a big hit by Charles Mincy.
Yeah, let's go back and look at that again. There is the foot out of bounds.
Drove Craver out of bounds, forced that left foot to go out of bounds. That was a great recovery on the part of Mincy.
And it's a good look at the coordination that goes on between officiating crew. The one guy called it in his area of responsibility, which was looking at the ball and the goal line. And the other official, whose area of responsibility was the sideline, was all over it.
It is 3rd down and goal. Everybody up on the front line for Kansas City. And Marino's going to go to the air, backpedaling and looking and throwing for the touchdown to Ronnie Williams.
And Vaughn Booker is all over Dan Marino. And Dan Marino makes him miss. He is in Marino's face. And Frank, that's a nifty little move by Dan Marino to get away from him.
Twice on this drive, Marino, with unbelievable pressure, has the presence and the cool and the heart, if you will, to get the completion. And I don't know, you look at Montana, he orchestrates an offense. Marino just dominates an offense. He's going to make it happen.
You don't have to be fast for 20 yards. Just be fluid for a yard or two. Watch this move right there. Number 99, Booker, has a free shot at Dan Marino, and Dan, with that little sidestep to the outside, gets away and gets a touchdown for his reward.
Stoyanovich with the point after. Ronnie Williams had not scored a point in his career. Picked a pretty good time, didn't he?
That he did.
Well, Marino, Montana, glamour matchup. So often these games don't come close to living up to advanced billing, but what a half this has been. What a beauty.
I couldn't agree with you more, Al. This is everything we hoped it would be. Again, watch the right of your screen. There's Booker, and look at Marino. Not much, just a couple yards worth of work, but enough to buy him the time.
And you said something so true about both these quarterbacks. They're not the kinds of quarterbacks who are going to beat you running the football, but they have such presence in the pocket. They have a sense of feel about where people are, and believe me, when you're down there at a different level, a different plane of action, you just see flashes, you hear sounds, you feel things, and these two guys, Montana and Marino, do it as well as anyone has ever done it.
The answer you get a lot of times from a great player when you say, why did you do this? A lot of times the greatest players give you the answer, I don't know.